we love him and that we need him home and that we're just not a family without him.
The mother of a missing 7-year-old Oregon boy says the last 3 weeks have been, quote, the worst hell a parent could ever feel.
Investigators say Kyron's stepmom brought him to school Friday morning, took this picture of him at Skyline Science Fair, and last saw Kyron near his classroom at about 8:45.
I love you and I miss you, and I would do anything to trade places and to get you home. And we'll keep up the search, and we will not stop until we find you.
I wish I could be there to protect him and bring him home.
That is the mother and the father of little Kyron speaking. How can a little boy disappear from his elementary school science fair? He's right there in his own elementary school. Stepmom says she sees him walking to his class and then he just disappears. It's a very rural area. Who would be waiting in the wings to snatch a little 7-year-old boy from the science fair? Out to Kevin Miller, investigative reporter. What do you know, Kevin?
Well, Nancy, right now, police continue to go over the thousands of tips that they've received. In addition to that, the over 350 questionnaires from students, teachers, and staff members of Skyline Elementary as they continue to search for young Kyron. In addition to that, people are reeling from the interview given to People magazine by Terry Horman's stepfather. He says there's a 50-50 chance she could be charged in the disappearance of Kyron.
Explain to me why, Kevin. Why would the stepmother be arrested? I know this much. I know she's a former bodybuilder. I know that she was the last person to see him. Which one is she, may I ask? Far right. I know that she was the last one to say she saw him alive. I know he was at that science fair because a photo was taken, to my understanding. And then I know that in the days after he went missing, she was making unusual postings on either, I guess on Facebook, saying that she was going to go work out. And I know that in all of these questionnaires and in all of the flyers that they're putting out, that she is part of it, asking the public if they know about her. Explain all that to me, Kevin Miller.
Well, Nancy, her behavior has caused the police to give her 2 polygraphs. They've taken her truck twice. She's been questioned for up to 6 hours, according to her father, several times. You have published reports saying she's really good with kids. The issue here also is the reports we're getting concerning the cell phone pinging, and that's why police are at Sauvie Island taking a look for young Kyron there. And again, wondering where Terry Horman was and if her timeline matches up to the story she's giving to authorities.
Why are they concerned about her timeline, Kevin? What do we know about that?
Well, again, Nancy, what we know about it is she was the last person to see Kyron alive, and then she was the first person to pick him up along with his father at 3:45. When he wasn't on the bus, she called the school. The police were notified by the teachers at the school. Again, it goes back to where she was in that timeline from 8:45, the last time she said goodbye to Kyron, to when he was supposed to be on that bus at 3:45. In addition to that, Nancy, investigators say he didn't show up for class as well.
So he was missing from his very first class. And what time was that first class, Kevin Miller?
Around 9 a.m.
So she says she sees him at school at 8:45 a.m. At 9 a.m., he's gone. He's right?
Investigators say that was the last time Kyron was reportedly seen. They don't identify who saw him, but that's what they're saying as far as confirmation of seeing young Kyron.
Okay, I've got another question, Kevin. With me, Kevin Miller, investigative reporter. Kevin, did the father typically go with the stepmother to pick him up at the bus station or the bus stop, or did he go that day at the stepmother's request?
He was working from home and did go that day.
Did she ask him to go? Does he normally go to the bus stop?
I wouldn't know that, Nancy. I'm still working on that.
Okay, Kevin, does he normally get escorted home from the bus stop? I mean, I lived in a very rural area, and we just hopped off the bus and walked home. In fact, sometimes we'd walk all the way home from school, over a mile, to get home, and nobody thought anything about it. But that was a long time ago. Did he normally walk home unescorted?
He would normally have his stepmother there.
Huh. But on that day, for some reason, the father also went. To Mark Glass, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation, joining us out of San Francisco. Mark, give me your opinion. This is your your expertise.
And I had a little bit of a different timeline. As I understand it, she was walking him to his class when the bell rang at 8:45. At that, and they were very close to the class. At that point, he said to her, "Mom, I'm going to the classroom." She said that she waved to him and turned around and left. Now, if she was walking with him, it makes more sense to me that she would bend over and kiss him rather than wave to him. But at any rate, she then turned around and left, and apparently that was the last time anybody saw Kyron. So I would suggest that, number one, either she is involved, or number two, a local pedophile did a very, very high-risk snatch from a school just as the final bell or as the beginning bell was ringing that day.
You know what? You're saying something that's really touching a chord, because I can't think of a single time, even if it's just for 1 hour, that I don't kiss the twins before I leave. Normally, I can't even let them know that I'm leaving because they go crazy. But that's very interesting. Give me that analysis one more time, Mark Glass.
Sure. Very simple. She said that she was walking him to the class, and they were very close to his classroom when the bell rang at 8:45. At that point, he said, "Mom, I'm going to class now," and she waved at him and turned around and left. But if she was walking with him, she would have kissed him, particularly if she was very proud of the work he had done for the science fair, at least in my mind. So there was a very, very brief period of time when something could have happened to that little boy when he was completely unobserved. And I'm talking seconds.
We have been participating heavily with investigators, hours and hours a day, working with them on leads, tips, questions.
We cannot come up with anything. It's, my sister used a phrase with somebody recently. It's like a portal opened up in the school and Kyron just vanished into it.